Podcast with Aaron Cow.
I throw balls far. You want good words? Data language.
Talk real sports with a real man.
Come after me! I'm a man! I'm 40!
And now, here's the be-all, end-all, know-it-all of high school, college, and pro sports. Aaron Skinny Cow with the Skinny on Sports.
We're talking about practice, man. I'm the MVP.
And a good Garrison Financial Friday out there, Western Oklahoma. Welcome to the Skinny on Sports. We're right here on 98.1 FM, the Sports Animal. Glad to have you along for the next hour. We got our man Leland coming up in the next segment.
What?
Yeah, he had texted me, and he's going to give us an update on the year for Officials versus Cancer, the golf tournament.
That's great.
And other stuff. So he'll be coming up in the next segment. Man, our guy Quade Cummins has turned it on the Korn Ferry Tour. Back-to-back top 15 finishes. He had a top 6. He tied for 6th 2 weeks ago in Colorado. Tied for 13th last week, and then yesterday 7 under par in his first round. He goes out this morning tied 9th. How about this? If you shot even par yesterday, you beat 3 people.
Really?
Yeah.
That's it.
That's all you beat.
Oh.
Yeah. Stay in school, kids. Korn Ferry Tour may not be for you.
Interesting side note. When I was down in Florida, I saw a truck.
Uh-huh.
And it said Cummins on it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But it had, like, Louisiana tags. Look, there's a story there.
Yeah, that seems pretty wild.
It's probably changed hands a couple times and found its way to Louisiana.
Yeah. Yeah, he's just getting underway. Tied 10th at 7 under par after one round.
7 under par, tied 10th.
Tied 10th.
Wow.
Glenview, the Glen Club in Glenview, Illinois.
Is that not a punch to the gut? You're like, man, I'm playing great. I'm in 10th place. I mean, that's some good competition. I'm not knocking his play, but that's golf for you, right? That's the mental thing, though. You could play really, really good, but there could be 9 other people who are playing better than you.
Korn Ferry Tour is not for the faint of heart. Those guys, they can go
dare I say, cutthroat?
low. They can go low. Now, the problem is consistently being able to do it. But, I mean, if you look up every single week in one of the rounds, somebody will shoot 8, 9, 10 under par every single week in each round. Now, they might come back. They might follow like this guy, R. McCormick. What's his first name? Ryan. So Ryan McCormick leads. He shot 11 under par 60 yesterday. Now he's liable to shoot, like 200 a day. And that's why, the kind of the learning curve down on the Korn Ferry Tour versus the PGA Tour. Those guys, maybe you don't see a 61 or a 60 each week on the tour, but consistently they're able to back those rounds up a little bit more frequently than what some of the guys on the Korn Ferry. And that's what they're down there learning, trying to make their way into the PGA Tour. So we'll kind of keep you updated on what he's doing. As we move along throughout the show. Also, we talked just a brief moment about kind of the Ryder Cup and where it stands. I'm wondering for you, if you're making these picks here in a month, are you looking at how they're playing now, weighing that more heavily than maybe what their experience has been in these competitions? Okay, I'm interested to get your thoughts on exactly kind of where you're at on that form versus experience argument as we get closer and closer to Zach Johnson making those picks. As I mentioned, Leland will be in here in just a little bit to update us on the Officials versus Cancer.
Be in here?
No.
Oh.
I mean, we'll call him, but he'll be on the horn. And then it's Garrison Financial Friday. I had all these great soccer questions to ask Scott. I guess we just got to throw them away, and we'll kind of do our own thing without him. I mean, the soccer guru. I was going to look at the very first 2 things I have for him was soccer.
We're still getting a check from him, though, right?
Yeah. There's not going to be.
It's still Garrison Financial Friday, right?
There's not going to be many chances that he's had to go soccer back to back, and unfortunately, he missed it here on this Garrison Financial Friday. So we'll pivot and look for something else. 225-9698 is the phone or the text line. 225-9698. Give us a call, shoot us a text. We can talk about any of those things. Whatever else might be on your mind, feel free to chime right in at 225-9698. If you're going to be outside the listening area, a couple ways to stay in touch with the show. One of those is to log on to kadsam.com. The other is to download the Paragon app. The app has got it all. It's got radio. It's got the Penny News. Brand new edition of the Penny News hit the website on Wednesday, and now you can start picking up free copies of that Penny News in the print edition as you move forward. And then Big Elk and Paragon TV, they're there, coming before you know it. We'll have live streaming of high school sports. How are you this morning, Jared?
I am good. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm doing very well. It's hot.
Mm-hmm. What else is new?
It's hot. I think my rib is getting better. It's still not.
Yeah, how is that?
I went to the chiropractor yesterday. I was hoping that they would just find that I slipped a rib, and they could just put it back where it goes, and it would heal faster. Unfortunately, that's not it. It's kind of pulled something or strained a muscle in there, and so it's just going to be a little bit longer process.
So it was a muscle thing.
Yeah.
Okay. They just tell you to take it easy?
Yeah. I think I've come to grips. It's the club championship this weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I've started to come to terms with the fact that there's probably not much chance that I could actually play.
Oh, no.
Now, here's the deal.
Should they just postpone it?
They should. They won't, but they should. Yeah, there's not very good chance. There wasn't much chance for me to actually win, but it's always fun to go out and compete. You just don't play your own ball very much. You look at the tournaments around. A lot of times it's, the scrambles like ours, or
yeah,
there's just not there's not just a ton of chances to go out and post your own score, and that's probably a good thing in a lot of ways for me to not have to put just my name, a number by just my name. But anyway, so that kind of stinks. Unless I wake up tomorrow, or maybe if I'm reeling in a fish at the fishing derby, it heals it miraculously. I don't know. Fishing derby is tomorrow. Are you excited about the fishing derby?
Of course.
It's about my favorite thing.
Very excited.
Why are you doing that, Jared?
What? I'm overly excited. Not overly.
It's going to be
I'm excited. Oh, yeah, it's going to be hot.
Good news is it's early.
You can't control it, so, just whatever. But it is early, 8 to noon. And by noon, though, it'll be warm. I think it'll still be below 100.
I'll take the over.
Really?
Yeah. What is it right now?
Well, it's like 80. Hold on. 81.
81, and it is 9 o'clock. We did have a little cloud cover
Yesterday we had some cloud
this morning. Cover. There's been a little bit of...
Yeah.
So that helps that temperature from flying up.
Today,
at noon.
Today at noon says 93.
Huh?
And I don't know if I could look as far ahead to tomorrow at noon. I can't. But by 9 a.m. tomorrow, 81. So
similar.
See if the pattern's the same.
Very similar.
Now, we usually don't hit the hundreds till about mid-afternoon. 3, 4 o'clock, about the hottest it can get during the day. Then it just holds on and stays 75 at night.
Yeah, I know. I heard you say that.
But
75 at night.
But fishing derby should be fine. There's a lot of trees out there and gets in some shade. As long as there's a little breeze. That's what Butch was saying in our last show on the other station was, it's okay to sweat a little bit if it's windy because that keeps you cool. I'm not wearing one of those sun shirts. No, I'm wearing our awesome shirts that we got. Which, by the way, come on out, kids. Get yourself a shirt.
Yeah,
got to get out there
shirts.
early because
Yes.
those things go fast. And we got loaner poles and tackle if you don't have your own gear, and chance to win some prizes, including $100 bills.
$100 bills or lifetime fishing license.
Well,
A couple of those being given away.
I think the lifetime fishing license is what I'd want, right?
It's a pretty amazing
Yeah.
gift. Pretty amazing thing that Grant's auction helps us out with every year.
Yeah. It's
Very
really cool when it's maxed out at the ponds and you just look and there's just pole, just all around both ponds.
There's a lot of times during the kids' fishing derby where I think to myself, how in the world are they reeling fish in and not just all getting tangled up because there's so many people?
Yeah, I've thought that too. I've thought that, or two get hung up and they think it's a fish.
Yeah.
Two people trying to reel in what they think's a fish, and it's actually just someone else's lure. Nah, but we'll have food out there. Presidio helping us out. They're having their whole family day out there too, so it's kind of coinciding. And it's gonna be great time.
Yeah, fishing derby till noon. I think the train rides and that kind of stuff last till 2.
Right,
with Presidio.
Train rides, miniature golf.
Yeah, just got a text.
Carousel.
The Presidio cooks hoping for a cool morning.
Yeah, me too. For them, absolutely.
And for me, no, just more importantly though, for me,
hey man, bring a chair and find some shade.
I am going to bring a chair.
Yeah. Well, I'm about my kids. We got them. All the girls got these in the goodie bags in softball, like those neck fan things. I might bring one of those. I might charge that up tonight. Bring one of those. I don't care how silly I look. Stay cool.
Okay, so we can scrap the soccer and go to baseball.
Well, you don't want to talk about Messi?
Nope. I was going to have Scott talk about Messi. He's the soccer expert, but since he's not here, we'll go to baseball. Probably, right behind soccer, his favorite sport.
Baseball?
No. Not at all.
All right. Well, let's go right to baseball.
Too bad for him, though. Okay, so yesterday, Shohei Ohtani becomes the first player ever to throw a shutout in one game of a doubleheader. A one-hitter, by the way. And then hit a home run in the other game of the doubleheader, which he ended up hitting 2. So some guy named Sonny Seibert in 1971, but this was the same game. It wasn't across 2 games of a doubleheader. He threw a shutout and hit 2 home runs on the same day, but he didn't do it in multiple games. So Ohtani joins him, first guy to do that since 1971. He's the first guy ever to throw a shutout in one game of a doubleheader and then hit a home run in the other. And like I said, he hit 2. Do you think, is there anything to maybe it freed him up after the Angels come out and say, okay, enough of this trade talk. We're not trading this guy. We're keeping him for a playoff run. Is there anything to that? Or do you think he's just so incredibly talented it just happened to happen on the same day?
It just happened to happen on the same day. He's just that incredibly talented. I don't think there's anything to it because I don't think the Angels were in any kind of serious, and I've stood this ground ever since we've talked about it. I don't think they were ever in serious. I don't think they were even answering the phone when it came to discussions about trading Ohtani. I don't. So I don't think that was lingering in the clubhouse for Ohtani to kind of keep looking over his shoulder, and it hampers his play. I think, the blister on the finger thing was holding back his pitching. He's missed a couple starts. The bat's always been there. I mean, it was just a coincidence, in my opinion. Makes for a good story, though. I mean, they're all in, right? I mean, it's
There's
playoffs
no
or bust.
Well, sure, and it's Ohtani or bust.
Checking. Third place West, okay.
3.5 back in the wild card.
I mean, listen, these numbers are awesome. This individual stuff with him is great. And here we go again. If the Angels can't make the playoffs, here's what's scary if you're an Angels fan. Okay, now you're all in on Ohtani, which I said you should have been. He's the greatest player almost of all time. I mean, arguably right there up there with Babe Ruth. So you can't trade him away. You can't. You got to go for it. But what's scary is given away the farm to bring pieces in to accommodate him, and he still signs with someone else. I mean,
They haven't given away a damn thing.
They gave away some.
I think it's crazy that unless they know. I understand what you're saying about you got to take your shot. If I'm an Angels fan, I love what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. We're never going to have another chance to have a better player than we got right now. He's ours. Maybe he likes, I love that they're shooting their shot. And I think it's dumb as hell. Because he's not signing there. Do you really believe they have any chance to re-sign him? Like, give me a percentage that the Angels have a chance of re-signing Ohtani. Less than 50.
Yeah, I was
Surely.
going to say like 49%. I mean, he's going to listen to him because he's the team they are the team he's playing for. So they'll get first crack at him, and he'll listen, and he'll probably come down to someone else and them. But I don't favor their chances. No.
Well, no, you don't favor him. So
No.
then why are you keeping him?
Yeah.
Why are you?
Well,
that's my
because it's Ohtani.
I understand. I understand it is. And like I said, if I was an Angels fan, I would love every second of what they're doing. Not being an Angels fan, you know what this reminds me of? So much. People like us holding out hope against hope in 2016, or what it was, July the 4th of 17. And how damn dumb does that look now?
Oh, yeah.
Now, I understand it would have been impossible. The fan base would have rioted if at the trade deadline that year, Sam Presti shipped out Kevin Durant. They would have absolutely rioted. But looking back on that, how much of a chance do you really think Oklahoma City had to actually re-sign Kevin Durant?
Well, I think the complacency of the fans back then thinking he'll re-sign because he already did once.
He has to the first
right?
time.
And he played with Oklahoma City for 9 years. So there was just that complacency of, and he came off as this homely guy that he's humble and he's not going to leave. He's said nothing about all the good and right things about the Thunder and the organization and Presti and Oklahoma City, and he's said, all that stuff. So that's why no one even thought about, well, you got to trade him because free agency's coming up. Everyone thought, oh, he'll resign. He likes it here.
Okay, you're making my point. He did all those things and left. At what point has Ohtani even pretended like, oh, yeah, I love the Angels? Has he?
I don't know. I don't speak Japanese. I don't know what he's saying.
I don't think, well, first off, he's not saying much, which would make it even worse.
He's not saying anything. That's what's got to drive some Angels fans crazy.
Oh, yeah.
He's not showing his hand for nothing.
No, he's not.
You have no clue.
He's not. And that's what, I mean, this is kind of like, it's not to the loyalty in sports that Jim talks about all the time and how bad that is for you. And it's an impossible situation for the Angels. Because if you trade Ohtani, then you're setting yourself up for like Curse of the Bambino type stuff, like Boston did. But if you don't trade him and he doesn't sign with you, you look like an idiot. When most people, I mean, when you like listen to the national people that might have a little bit of extra info or intel, you don't really hear all that many people going, oh, yeah, Angels are right in there.
No, you don't.
And that's where it's like, golly. As bad as it would be to trade him, it's going to be worse to get nothing for him.
Maybe they're thinking, but that's what it's scary if you're for me, if you're an Angels fan. Like if I was an Angels fan, I'm like, man, don't go out and desperately grab guys to help just this season and build around him and give up prospects and other players.
Yeah, but you've got to show him you're trying to win.
I understand that, but the scary thing is when he signs with someone else and you're looking, oh, great, the cupboard's bare. We lost Ohtani and the farm.
Yeah.
But again, it goes back to it's Ohtani. I mean, you got to go for it. I get that. It's going to be I don't even know if they have – let's realistically look at it. Can they make a wild card spot?
We're 3 games behind Toronto with 60 games left. Absolutely they can. I mean, they're not too terribly far behind the Rangers. What, 5 games? 6 games?
It is – I believe it was 4 – no, it's 6. I'm sorry.
6 in the loss column. So that's a pretty good jump in 60 games.
But the thing is, right now the way this is trending, the winner of the West and the second place team in the West look like are going to make the playoffs. Right now.
It's going to –
So it's asking
the wild
a lot.
cards are coming from the East or the West. And now the question is how many? Because you look at the East, everybody has fewer losses than the Angels. Baltimore leads at 62-40. They've got the best record in the American League, which is unbelievable to say.
I mean, Tampa Bay's trending down. Houston's trending up.
Mm-hmm.
If Houston gets that first place spot, then you got at that point a 60-plus win Ranger team that could be leading the wild card, if not be in that second spot in the wild card. I'm saying it's asking. I mean, the West is really good, and the Angels are going to have to get on a heater. They're going to have to start streaking.
Well, they're 8-2 over the last 10.
They are
4 straight.
Yeah.
That hurts. But guess what? The teams in the East are the same way.
Yeah. Yeah, this AL West reminds me a lot of the AL East.
I mean, everybody in the American League East has a better record than the third place team in the West. The one saving grace is depending on how many games those teams in the West still have with Oakland.
Yeah, I'm looking what's up ahead for the Angels.
But, I mean, they've clearly made their decision. They're not trading him, and they're going to go for it. And I guarantee you their fans are loving every second of it. I heard Gottlieb on yesterday. He's an Angel fan. He loved every second of doing that. And in the same reasons of you. It's Ohtani. You have to, when you have a guy like that, you have to do everything in your power to keep him. I'm just telling you right now, it's the wrong choice.
They're coming up on I hope it is. I'm a Ranger fan.
It's the wrong choice.
It's a Ranger fan. I hope they tank, and I hope they lose them, and I hope they lose the farm. They go to Toronto for a 3-game series.
See, there you go. They could be tied.
They go to Atlanta after that for a 3-game series. I mean, they're coming up in 6 games here on the road. That's a tough stretch there. Let's see what happens. Host Seattle, host San Fran, at Houston, at Texas in middle of August.
That'll tell the tale of it.
That right there. Man, I should have went to those games.
Yeah, I mean,
those tickets probably would have been a lot more expensive than the Miami Marlins coming to Texas.
I mean, theoretically, the Angels sweep the Blue Jays, and they've caught them. 3 back in the loss column.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I understand there's a whole bunch of other teams that are there in between, but it's they're definitely going for it. Made the trade yesterday, that you mentioned. But that's even the worse fear than losing him for nothing, is giving away a whole bunch of stuff to try to keep him and then losing him. So
that's what I'm saying.
You lost him for more than nothing.
That's what I'm saying.
But
that's all I'm saying.
But here's the deal: if you want to try to sign, if you don't want to trade him, you have to do that.
Curious to see if they do anything else between now. What is it, Tuesday?
Yeah,
I'm curious to see if they do anything else.
Well, I mean, they have to. Because the best chance
Trout done for the year, so they go. I mean, are they going to find a bat? I mean, this last trade, they find a couple of pitchers. Are they going to go find a bat? Do they need a bat? I mean,
you have to. If you're not going to trade him, then you put your back gets against the wall that you have to try to show him we're going for it, and we'll go for it, and that's when the doomsday that you brought up could show up. You made trades for now, hoping to get that guy to stay with you, and then he leaves, and you just look around like left holding the bag.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's in an even worse situation than just what we've talked about of keeping him and maybe not making drastic trades and then losing him. Well, at least you have some prospects. And it could be franchise cratering to lose him and then have to totally rebuild your farm system because you traded it all away to try to keep him here and happy.
Oh, no doubt.
And I'm just hoping that's the scenario as a Ranger fan.
I mean, it's a...
You know how bad it's got for the Angels? My brother-in-law grew up in Southern Cal, told me 2 days ago, he's a Cincinnati Reds fan now.
Oh, boy.
Probably because of De La Cruz, but it's like he's up in arms. He's like, he didn't say it, but I could see he's just frustrated. It's the same thing every year. You got these stars, and I want to say, why'd you go to the Reds? I got plenty of Ranger gear I could have given you.
By the way, my Brewers are leading their division over the Reds. 2 games.
There you go.
That's probably the Centrals in both leagues probably getting one team. You're going to have to win the division in order to get into the playoffs, it looks like to me. But once again, just like in the AL, that might be an advantage because your schedule down the stretch won't be quite the same as some of these other better divisions. Fun times. I mean, the Ohtani thing it's unlike anything we've ever seen on the field, and it's really kind of unlike anything we've ever seen off of it either. Just the stakes around this thing are so high for the whole league.
Yeah.
Especially that handful of teams that might actually be able to sign him once the season's over. We'll be back on the Garrison Financial Friday.
Hello, my name is Scott Garrison. You may remember me as Scott the Barber or just as Ron and Carla's son. I've been involved in our community since opening Scott's Barbershop on the southeast corner of 3rd and Main in 1998. Now I'm back in the same building as Garrison Financial. I started investing in my 20s. I invested through the dot-com crash and the Great Recession. I started caring for other people's money in 2018, and I truly enjoy sitting down with my clients, understanding their wants and needs as well as what keeps them up at night. Whether my friends just want me to invest a little of their savings or want me to work with their tax and legal professionals to strive towards optimal efficiency, we can do it all. I believe communication is key to helping my clients reach their goals. For if we are faithful over a few things, we shall be given more. Contact me at scott@soonerwealth.com. Securities offered through registered representatives of Cambridge Investment Research, Inc., a broker-dealer member FINRA and SIPC. Advisory services offered through Cambridge Investment Research Advisors, Inc., a registered investment advisor. Garrison Financial and Cambridge are not affiliated. This communication is strictly intended for individuals residing in the states of Colorado, Nevada, Oklahoma, and Texas. No offers may be made or accepted from any resident outside the specific states referenced. Cambridge does not offer tax and legal advice.
The Skinny on Sports.
You can't say on the air.
Don't worry, nobody's listening anyway.
Welcome back. Skinny on Sports, 98.1 FM, the sports animal. Right there on the text line. Maybe Ohtani is the alien that we've been hearing about in Congress.
Him and Wembanyama came down the same spaceship.
It might have. I'm not going to put anything past any of that. It's a Garrison Financial Friday. Scott Garrison at Garrison Financial. 124 North Main right here in Elk City. Scott@SoonerWealth.com is his email address. He does it all. Full financial planning. He'll shop the open markets to bring you the best value on your life insurance and investments. We'll tell you all about Scott as we continue to move through the show. Joining us now is the man that has been involved and really got the thing started, Officials versus Cancer. It's a guy that you're going to see at a local high school football field in your neighborhood this fall. It's Mr. Leland Searcy. Leland, how are you today?
Man, I'm good. How are you and Jared?
Doing well. It just kind of rolling through the kind of those last couple of weeks before high school football. It gets pretty busy around here trying to get everything ready to go.
Yeah, summer's flown by. It just went so fast in football season. We've already had a couple meetings up here, and our state meeting's over with. We had it last Saturday. Obviously, when we had our OOA business meeting, where we donate the money for children's. But yeah, it's eerily close, and I've been jogging a little. If you can imagine that, 65, almost 66 years old. So I've been getting my body in a little bit better shape. So it's time.
Surely on a treadmill inside with AC, right? You're not jogging in this heat, are you?
Well, actually, I'm jogging. Yes, at 6:30 in the morning, I run in my backyard. My backyard, guys, and Jared, you've probably talked to my daughter, Lindsay. My backyard is we can play baseball on one side and football on the other. It's huge.
Wow.
So the backyard, I've got it mowed down like a football field. It's in plush condition, obviously, because we've had so much moisture. But I do 30-yard wind sprints, and then my wife and I walk about 3 miles every 3 days, every other day, 3 days a week. So it's been good. It's been good. It's been I'm looking forward to it. Got a wonderful season, wonderful schedule.
Uh-oh. Did we lose him?
He went to sell heck.
I think he did.
Dang it.
Oh, there
Are you there?
You back?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We lost you there for just 1 second. As you were talking about you guys got a good schedule coming up in the fall.
Absolutely. Yes. I'm in my office. Let me move. Yeah, we've got a real good schedule. Week zero, we're at this is one to open up with. Kingfisher Clinton at Kingfisher.
A good one.
So that's our week 0 game, and then we visit you guys. We're at week 3. We're at Elk City.
Carl Albert.
We got the Titans and the Big Elks. So yeah, it's a good season. Guthrie Piedmont the next week, Weatherford Clinton the following week, Enid Broken Arrow, Stillwater Tahlequah, Edmond Santa Fe Yukon, and then we've mixed in a couple of games. I'm going to work a game for Dave Foster at Alva, who used to be at Elk City.
Yep.
So work a game up there on week 10. We work a Thursday night game. So yeah, go to Lawton. Go to Lawton there in the middle of the season, at week 7 or week 8. So on a Thursday night and a Friday. The Lawton trip, guys, is the trip of the year. So we go down to Lawton on Thursday and work it. We work. I think we work Lawton MacArthur. Play golf at the Territory Friday morning. They put us up in the hotel. Play golf at the Territory Friday morning, and then we get Lawton High and maybe Putnam City North that night. So and just make the trek back about almost 3 hours. So good season, good final season for me. I'm really looking forward to it. And man, we've got some new changes too. So got some mechanical changes, got a few rule changes. So it's gonna be a good year. Be looking forward to it.
All right. So you mentioned you had your annual meeting, annual get together, and that's where you donate the money to the pediatric research, the cancer research. Tell us how that went and kind of the numbers that were involved in that.
It went real good. We start the meeting. You know, we're really there for the Hall of Fame. We inducted some members into the Hall of Fame this year, every year, and we do our deal right before that, and I'm requesting to our office that we do this afterwards, because I think that Hall of Fame is the most important thing for officials that have spent, half their life refereeing basketball or whatever sport they referee, football, whatever. But we made a donation to the Children's Hospital, and this year the check was wrote for $39,650. So it was a really good year. It was record breaking for sure. Up from 30,000 last year.
So that's the most you've ever donated.
Most we ever donated,
wow.
Absolutely. And we have. So everybody says, how did we get here? How did we get from year one at 7,000? And it's one word. It's one word: awareness. The more we get on the radio and talk about it, the more platforms that we can use to briefly mention that 1 out of every 18 kids born in Oklahoma before their 18th birthday is going to get cancer. It's like everybody's like, really? I said, yeah. I mean, so pediatric cancer research centers get less donations than any other cancer center in the United States. It's awareness, and it's going on. We know it's going on. We see our neighbor kids. We see our relatives. I read two. So I'm not a guy I don't like dunning people. Okay, so I'm not that guy that comes up to you and say, "Hey, Jared, how about donating to Fixers versus Cancer?" If Jared wants to donate and he sees me, he knows what I'm doing. And do you guys agree with that?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going through this deal, and this is our 7th year. This is our 6th year. Excuse me. We're going into our 7th year, and I get to thinking, man, every time I see people, I don't want them to think I'm dunning them for money. But then I get this text. Then I get this guy from Messenger. He sends me this message, and he's asking me, "Are you going to collect money? Are you going to collect money during the OOA meeting in July?" And I said, "Yeah, I think we're going to. I think we're going to." And he goes, I said, "But what's your thoughts? Because I want to know what people are thinking." I'm telling you right now, guys, this hits you right in the middle of the chest. I'm going to read it to you, okay?
Okay.
Keep it going, man. While many officials worry about if they're going to get a playoff assignment or worrying about making the right call on Friday night during the game, etc., there are parents and children that are worried if their babies are going to make it through the night. What you're doing is making a difference. Now that is perspective. Can you imagine?
There's a
Can
big
you imagine?
There's a big part of me that wishes that would be read before every single game across the state of Oklahoma, no matter what sport, to give some perspective to the parents and the kids before the game. And maybe that helps out with the behavior during the game.
Boy, that's true. And I read two, so I'm going to read you this other one. I read two. 2 weeks before the meeting last Saturday, I get this on a Saturday morning. Are you going to be taking up donations for the children or Officials versus Cancer on Saturday? I said yes. We're going to pass the bucket. We'll have a slideshow, and I said we're going to pass the bucket. He goes, great. He goes, my nephew was diagnosed 2 months ago. You told us cancer doesn't discriminate a couple of years ago, and Leland, you were right. He's 6, and he should be getting ready for the first grade. Instead, he's fighting for his life. What you guys are doing is the most important things for kids in Oklahoma. Keep it up, man. You're doing great. Now, I'm pretty sure that this right here is the tools we need to spread the awareness. Is that right?
100%.
Absolutely.
So this has been I'm 6 years into this, and this has been such an eye-opening experience. Because once I started researching, what is pediatric cancer and how many kids are getting it, and I'm seeing all these things, and then people start sending me this stuff. So it's touching people's hearts. It's touching people, their souls, and they're wanting to give. And just like Saturday, we only had 80 people in the room. We passed the bucket, and we get $1,490. I mean, that's not a lot of money, but you know what? If we had 1,000 people in the room, what would it be like then? If you read all that stuff, so it's really been an eye-opening experience for me, and obviously, I tell my stories to you guys. I tell them to other people, and I think they touch other people the way they touch me. So, what we're doing is we're raising awareness, which in turn, brings dollars in to research. 83% now. 83% of our kids are being cured. In 2015, 2 years before I started, we were at 56%. So it's we're getting there. We're getting there, and we're making headway. So it's a big deal. I mean, it's a big deal. I always thought I don't know anybody that got cancer. 7 years ago, I don't know anybody that had a kid that was cancer. Lo and behold, one of my bankers works for Jimmy Harrell at Bank of Western Oklahoma. Daughter comes down with brain cancer, and his wife is she's a sweetheart of a girl. I've known her since she was a little kid, and she is living a living testimony. I'm telling you, she's been through it all. 52 times that kid was put under with anesthesia to be treated. Now think about that for your 6-year-old daughter.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
Goodness.
Good.
It's such a. We just got a text. If that doesn't choke you up when you're reading that message, then nothing will. You don't have a heart.
That's right.
You know, and we're visiting with Leland Searcy, Officials versus Cancer. How much have you noticed in these going on now 7 years? How much more maybe acceptance, maybe not might be the right word, but at least you mentioned people kind of see and they know how much do you feel that hey, this is making a big difference, because they don't see me as Leland the basketball official, they see me as Leland the guy that's trying to raise money for pediatric cancer awareness.
Well, you're exactly right, because people see me now because when I've 40-plus years of refereeing, people come up to me all the time, hey, you refereed my games, 1997. I'm like, oh, okay. And they knew my name, but I have no idea who they are. But used to, they did that. In the last couple of years, hey, man, how's the research? How's the fundraising going? What you guys are doing here is great. I mean, you guys, and I've heard people tell me this, too. You guys give me a different light when I look at an official now. When I look at an official now, I go, these guys are they're fathers, grandfathers, brothers and sisters, and they're normal people. And so, and I do get that. I do get that now. Hey, how's it going? How's the fundraising going? I sent a check in last year, and I'll get you another check next year. But yeah, it's been good. It's been real good. It's been a change. It's been a little bit of a change for me because, I have a friend that comes down with it in 15, friend's daughter, and I get thinking about it, and that's what triggered me to do this. And so, it's definitely changed the way people look at the guys in the stripes. I think it has. I think we're starting to turn that corner maybe and see that. So anyway, it's crazy.
You just had it about a month ago, your big golf tournament, and that's one of your bigger fundraisers. Do you just told us your schedule coming up for this football season, and I heard a lot of big games in there. Do you go and raise a banner and pass around a bucket at your games? I mean, there's going to be a big crowd at the Oak City Carl Albert game. I think you can get a lot of money there.
Well, we could. We could, Jared, but if you're an official, on the field, when would you do that? We'd probably have to do it at halftime, right? I mean, you'd have to do it at halftime.
Yeah.
I've got 4 guys with me. To pass the bucket, it's going to take.
Yeah.
Because listen, we're kicking this idea around, not at football games. We're kicking this idea around where we recognize children at the state tournament. You've seen that,
right?
Where we recognize children at the state football championship at Wantland Stadium in Edmond. We've talked about doing 50-50 raffle. 50-50 raffle is one of the largest, most popular fundraising events now in the United States. At a lot of sporting events, they do 50-50 raffles, and you guys know what that is, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So 50-50 raffle is kind of what we're looking at for our 7th year, and I'd love for somebody at the game to be able to do that, organize that. I'd help them organize it, but as far as me being a part of it, it would be tough for me because I don't want the teams. I got to be careful here. I don't want the teams to think, is he here for? I don't want to lose my direction. Does that make sense?
Yeah, right. Sure. Yeah, I wonder if maybe it could be something to where we here could have like a QR code that sent you right to the Venmo, something along those lines.
Yeah.
We just got that, at the front gate.
Yes.
Or just somewhere where
Get the cheerleaders go.
That's right. Scan the QR codes and you'd be able to go right to the
put the
Venmo account.
Put the QR code on the back of your program.
Yeah, something like that. I think that would work really, really well.
We know this athletic director. Maybe we can get that done.
Yeah.
You know Mr. Hunt pretty good, huh?
he was my golf coach in high school, so we still.
I'm telling you.
Stay.
I'm telling you right now. This is going to get a lost subject, but you guys are so blessed to have Coach Hunt, to have Zach Maynard, to have that group of guys. That's an impressive bunch, and they have won my heart over since I've known Brian Hunt when he was at Hinton.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've been a fan of Brian Hunt. Brian and I talk 10, 20 times a year. I run stuff past him. He runs stuff past me. We're always talking. Of course, I worked a basketball game down there every year for the last 25 years. Worked a football game there the last 20 years. But my point is, you got to develop relationships as an official, and positive relationships lead to positive results. And obviously, I've had a pretty good. My results have been, I've been received pretty well. So I'm pretty fortunate, really pretty fortunate. So, but you guys are blessed with two guys right there. I don't know everybody down there, so I'm not going to leave anybody out. But you got a great staff. Great staff.
For those listening, Leland, what's the easiest way that they can get involved with donating to the Officials versus Cancer to help that 83% number skyrocket all the way up to 100?
So, for the most part, Venmo is where we get 80% of our donations are Venmo. If you want to message me on Messenger, I'm on Facebook. We got an OOA page for Oklahoma officials, and I got a personal page. But you can message me on Facebook, and if you got an idea that you want to do at your home football game or your home basketball game this year, if you got an idea, run it by me. Man, I'm all about it. So Venmo is like I said, it's the most popular donation site. OK Officials VS Cancer is our access code, so you can donate and right there and it's a lot. The game is important. Don't get me wrong, but life is a heck of a lot more important for these kids. And these kids don't have a chance when they're 5, 6, 7. Little girl from Thomas was 4 years old when she got diagnosed with leukemia. Her immune system isn't even built up yet. That's why this is so important. And so that was one of the girls we recognized at Classic Bowl this year at halftime. We recognized these two girls, and they're both 6, but one was 4 and one was 5 when they were diagnosed. Well, they don't have a chance. Those little girls don't have a chance. Little kids don't have a chance because their immune systems they're not even getting fully, going, and all of a sudden they're sick, fighting for their lives. So anyway, I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you guys for letting me come on and talk about it. Let me expose the awareness to your listening format, and it's just awesome that we can talk about it. And every time we talk about it, guys, I get money on Venmo, so it's really good. It's really good. So.
Man, thank you so much, Leland. Glad it's growing and getting more and more, as you said, awareness, the key word. And we'll let you on anytime you want to talk about that and try to spread your message throughout the state of Oklahoma. Thank you, sir. I appreciate what you're doing.
Hey, keep up the good work, guys. I listen to you every day. And have a good rest of the short summer we got left. And we'll see you at the football game.
Absolutely. Thank you. That is our man, Leland Searcy. Officials versus Cancer. It's amazing what that organization has, how much it's grown and how fast it's grown in just 6 short years. And, And I would be real hard pressed not to believe that there won't be a new record set year over year over year for a while now, looking forward.
Yeah.
Because as things spread, as people get more aware of it, and I think that, it's just one of those things like Scott said on the text line. If what that message sent to him, if it doesn't choke you up just a little bit, you may not have a heart, first off, and nothing else will.
Yeah.
Second off.
You gotta, it's a perspective of sometimes I have to remind myself when I go to games, I'm a fan, which is very rare anymore. Either I'm going as a broadcaster or sitting in the dugout, but I have to remind myself that this is a game. This is athletics. This is a game, and I have to kind of remind myself. And there are bigger things, and that's a perspective thing. And he kept saying, 6-year-old girl, you couldn't help, but I couldn't help but think of my own daughter.
Right.
What if I was in that situation? And so this is a great cause to donate towards, and he's using his platform as an official to bring awareness. That's awesome. So. And like I said earlier, I mean, he this is last year, and I'm glad he was listing off all those games. I mean, he's getting some big games, Oak City, Carlisle, he's getting the Custer County Conflict, a Kingfisher game with Clinton, all these big games. And I think maybe that's God's way of saying, we're sending you to those big crowds, Leland. So that's why I asked that question, and I'm sure Leland's listening. We're going to get that QR code. We're going to
figure that out.
We're going to figure that out. I got an idea that I'm going to run by you later, but that's a great thing he's doing. We're glad to help him.
Yeah,
he's welcome on this show anytime.
Yeah, I just thought of how could somebody scan that through the TV if we flopped it up on the screen?
We can.
Yeah, that'll be happening.
How about we just don't put it in one program, have them put them in one program a game? How about all the games?
Well, yeah.
I mean, how simple is that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean,
we just got to get that QR code. We'll get with Leland. We'll get that.
Figure that out for sure.
We can help organize that. But, yeah, we can get that on Big Elk TV. I don't think anyone would have a problem with that.
Everybody get ready to scan.
Try it.
And like he says all the time, he's not asking for somebody to donate $1,000.
No.
If everybody donates $20 that's listening, like those numbers climb and climb and climb. Appreciate his time as always. And yeah, it's always fun to see him on the field, too.
It is.
It helps our broadcast out.
Because he brings his mic.
That's right. We'll be back on Garrison Financial Friday.
Hello, my name is Scott Garrison. You may remember me as Scott the Barber or just as Ron and Carla's son. I've been involved in our community since opening Scott's Barbershop on the southeast corner of 3rd and Main in 1998. Now I'm back in the same building as Garrison Financial. I started investing in my 20s. I invested through the dot-com crash and the Great Recession. I started caring for other people's money in 2018, and I truly enjoy sitting down with my clients, understanding their wants and needs as well as what keeps them up at night. Whether my friends just want me to invest a little of their savings or want me to work with their tax and legal professionals to strive towards optimal efficiency, we can do it all. I believe communication is key to helping my clients reach their goals. For if we are faithful over a few things, we shall be given more. Contact me at scott@soonerwealth.com. Securities offered through registered representatives of Cambridge Investment Research, Inc., a broker-dealer member FINRA and SIPC. Advisory services offered through Cambridge Investment Research Advisors, Inc., a registered investment advisor. Garrison Financial and Cambridge are not affiliated. This communication is strictly intended for individuals residing in the states of Colorado, Nevada, Oklahoma, and Texas. No offers may be made or accepted from any resident outside the specific states referenced. Cambridge does not offer tax and legal advice.
The Skinny on Sports.
No.
Welcome back. Skinny on Sports, 98.1 FM, the Sports Animal, wrapping up a Garrison Financial Friday with Scott at Soonerwealth.com. And Scott's email address, 124 North Main, his physical address. Get on by there. He manages your investments. If you want to manage them, but you're just not sure how to start, he'll build you a plan, charge you hourly just to build it up, and then you can manage it from there. And, of course, always working with your accountants, streamline all that tax ramifications, all those returns, make sure everything is filed correctly. Scott at Soonerwealth.com, 124 North Main, right here in Elk City. Every Friday is a Garrison Financial Friday. We always do when Leland comes on. I'm assuming we'll put that Venmo up on our Skinny on Sports Facebook page.
Yeah.
OK Officials VS Cancer.
Yes.
Is that?
If you have Venmo, just search that, and you're good to go. And donate. Yeah. Well, we'll get that. We'll put that out on our Facebook where people can get that. And like I said, I got some ideas. And we'll see if we can help spread more awareness about this. But it's just getting bigger and bigger. I mean, he just set a record for donations this past year, and I don't doubt he'll get more.
Yeah, I think another one's on the way.
Yeah.
For year number 7. Update: Quaid even par through 4, so he's just kind of hanging in there, really falling down the leaderboard just a couple of spots, but so he's still right in the mix, still top 15, top 12 right now, playing his 5th hole. He had his birdie first hole, bogeyed the second hole, and then made a couple pars after that up there in Illinois at this week's Korn Ferry Tour event. He's 59th on the season-long points list. Top 30 get PGA Tour cards. Top 75 retain their Korn Ferry Tour cards. So his last couple of finishes vaulted him up where he's in a pretty good spot Korn Ferry-wise, and now the goal obviously is to continue to play really well and keep bumping up toward that top 30 by the time that the Korn Ferry Tour championship comes along here in a month and a half or so. So good stuff from Weatherford native at Quaid Cummins. I mentioned it at the top, Jared. Ryder Cup, it's going to be a huge conversation, a huge debate as far as how Zach Johnson fills out the rest of his team in the next month. The top 6 on the points list will make it automatically. Then he'll have 6 additional captain's picks. And a lot of the conversation is going to center around Justin Thomas, who hasn't had very good form this season, but who has been a standout in the 2 Ryder Cups that he's played, 6-2-1, which is the best record through 2 years of any American to start his career. And so the conversation is going to be this: current form versus Ryder Cup experience. When you think about that, just for you, kind of how do you weigh those things?
Well, how do I pick when we pick majors? How do I pick them?
It feels like you pick whoever's hot.
Yeah. And but has it helped me? Not really.
Yeah.
But that's how I would pick it, though. Who's hot? But I see the other angle of it is who's had success in the Ryder Cup, or at maybe who's had success of where they're going to go play. And then, of course, world rankings where they're at now. But I lean towards who's playing hot. If you get a collective amount of players that are playing really good in the moment, that's probably how I would lean. But on the other hand, I can see the argument to, who's had success despite how they're playing now. How about you? A little bit of both?
Yeah, I think it's a mixture of both. I also, my next question for you is going to be, do you have a difference? Do you weight a little bit differently because this is going to be in Europe versus if the Cup was going to be held right here in the States?
I think I'd tip my hand on that one a little bit. Like if you could pick a guy, we're going over here. This guy plays really good in Open Championships. He plays really good in Europe, no matter where the course is or this particular course. So I can see him doing that. But he's not going to take a flyer on a guy that's maybe ranked 56th or something just because he plays really. I don't see that happening. But if it's the choice between a guy that's playing hot right now or a guy that maybe be 10 spots below him that has a lot of success over there and still a fairly really good golfer, I can see him bringing one of those guys. Yeah. I don't know any names that would fit into that bill, but I can. That's what I said. I mean, there's a lot of strategic strategy to this. But ultimately, for me, if you go pick a guy just because he's had a lot of Ryder Cup success, but a lot of people go, well, he's been horrible the last year. Why would you bring him on? Yeah, that turns me off. That's where I'd go, no, you're right. I'd pick a guy that's been really good. He's consistently finishing top 10s, or 5s or whatever. He's there on Sunday. He's playing really good golf. I got to go with this guy.
So right now the top 6 would be Scheffler, Wyndham Clark, Brian Harmon, Brooks Koepka, Xander Schauffele, and Patrick Cantlay. Then right behind them, like if you went down to 12, like it's a 12-man team, if you just pick the next 6, it would be Homa, Cam Young, Spieth, Keegan Bradley, Collin Morikawa, and Ricky Fowler. JT is 14th. So it's not like you're talking about him, he's not like 50th.
Yeah.
And just has been a good, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But he's also, it's also pretty crazy that he struggled as much as he has and doesn't have a spot because he's been one of the best young Americans for 5 or 6 years now. And you kind of, he's just a guy that you pretty well just kind of take him as a guarantee, right? I mean, when you think of a Ryder Cup team right now for the United States, it's really hard to think of one that Justin Thomas isn't a part of because of the success that he's had there. He's a 2-time major winner. You know what I mean? He's one of those guys that you just, Justin Thomas, I wonder who, you start thinking, okay, who's he going to play with? Instead of, gosh, is he going to be on the team? But he has struggled. And I would bet you of the 6,370 points that he's amassed in this 2-year period since the last Ryder Cup, a vast majority of those came last year. Obviously winning the PGA in Tulsa. He cranked those points out a long time ago. And I think it's fascinating. I don't see, obviously, if he could play well, playing right now at the 3M up in Minneapolis. He shot 2 under yesterday, which was kind of down in the 40s as far as the leaderboard. He did play in the afternoon when the wind kicked up. Right now, he's 2 over par, which puts him at even for the tournament, which is missing the cut. That's not helping. It's like he can make this decision so much more accepted if he would just play well.
Right.
Just a little bit. Just don't play dead.
Yeah.
But he's having a hard time not playing dead.
Yeah. Listen, sometimes things just time to move on.
Well, that's what's weird about it.
To accept,
it's not like a 45-year-old Phil or a 42-year-old Tiger where it's like, okay, you've had your time. I'm talking about a guy that's in his 20s.
Yeah.
That it's kind of like, whoa.
Maybe he needs to go talk to Ricky and go, what did you do?
Yeah, they're boys.
What did you do? You changed something. I mean, there's some obvious answers there, but there's something, you went and changed your swing a little bit, switched up some things. What else did you do?
Yeah, putter for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, and it seems like JT has a different putter every single round right now, trying to find it.
Yeah.
And right now he's not finding it. And today it's not helping whatsoever. Another guy that's sort of on that a little bit further down the list, but Tony Finau. He played really well yesterday. He's a guy that can maybe solidify a pick if he could play well the last few weeks. So it's fascinating to me how Zach Johnson's going to choose to go about this.
Yeah.
Here in the next month. So, all right, man. It was nice, very good Garrison Financial Friday.
Yeah.
Appreciate Leland Searcy coming on, man. Officials versus Cancer. OK Officials vs. Cancer on Venmo. Making another record-setting year for those guys. Doing the Lord's work, there's no doubt about it. Everybody have a great weekend. We'll be back on Monday. This has been the Skinny on Sports.
You've been listening to the Skinny on Sports podcast with Aaron Cow. Be sure to hit that subscribe button to get alerts of when the latest podcast is available. Thanks for listening.
That ball is blistered